What's the most inaccurate thing your child has ever been taught in school? My son Max came home from his 5th grade class looking confused. Dad, did you know Christopher Columbus was a hero who discovered America and proved the earth wasn't flat? I nearly choked on my coffee. As a history professor at the local university, few things make me cringe harder than outdated colonial myths being taught as facts. I sat Max down and gently explained that Columbus never actually set foot in North America, that Vikings had arrived centuries earlier, that indigenous people were already here for thousands of years, and that educated people in Columbus's time already knew the earth was round. Max frowned. But Mrs. Peterson showed us a whole video about it. She said Columbus was brave when everyone else was scared of falling off the edge. I sighed and showed Max some age-appropriate historical sources on my laptop. The next morning, I emailed Mrs. Peterson requesting a meeting, mentioning I had concerns about the history curriculum. She responded curtly that she followed the approved textbooks. When I arrived for our scheduled meeting, Mrs. Peterson was all smiles until I brought up Columbus. Her face immediately hardened. Professor Williams, I appreciate your academic perspective, but these are children. They need simple, inspiring stories. I kept my tone respectful. I understand simplifying, but teaching outright myths as historical facts does them a disservice. I offered to share some engaging, age-appropriate resources that were historically accurate. Mrs. Peterson's smile tightened. Our curriculum has worked fine for years. I don't need a parent telling me how to do my job. She glanced at her watch. I have another meeting now. 2 days later, Max came home dejected. We had a pop quiz on explorers. I wrote that Columbus didn't discover America, and Mrs. Peterson marked it wrong. He showed me the paper with a big red X and "See me" written in the margin. I checked the questions. Who proved the earth was round, with the expected answer being Columbus? My blood boiled. That weekend, I compiled a folder with state educational standards, updated historical resources, and a polite letter explaining my concerns. On Monday, I requested a meeting with the principal. Principal Garza listened attentively as I explained the situation. History education has evolved significantly, I explained. Teaching outdated colonial narratives not only spreads misinformation, but can be harmful. Principal Garza nodded thoughtfully. I understand your concerns. Let me speak with Mrs. Peterson. A week passed with no update. Then Max came home excited. Dad, a new teacher came to our class today, Dr. Rivera from the museum. She talked about Columbus and showed us real journals and maps and stuff about what really happened. Apparently, Principal Garza had arranged for a museum educator to give a presentation to the entire 5th grade. The next day, I received an email from Principal Garza inviting me to join the textbook review committee. We're overdue for updated materials, she wrote. When I saw Mrs. Peterson at the next parent-teacher conference, her greeting was ice cold. Max is doing well in most subjects, she said stiffly, though he can be challenging during history discussions. I smiled. Critical thinking is important, wouldn't you agree? She shuffled her papers without responding. The following month, the school hosted a multicultural history night. I volunteered and was surprised to see Mrs. Peterson there, listening intently to a Native American historian discussing pre-Columbian civilizations. After the presentation, I overheard her asking thoughtful questions. Later, she approached me awkwardly. Professor Williams, I've been doing some reading. She hesitated. Perhaps our curriculum could use some updating. It wasn't an apology, but it was a start. Last week, Max burst through the door after school. Dad, guess what? Mrs. Peterson asked if you could recommend some books for a class library about real explorers from different cultures. I smiled. Sometimes, challenging incorrect information isn't just about being right. It's about opening doors to a richer, more accurate understanding of our shared history.